Hello friends, welcome back to the bench. Thank you very much for joining me. Our patient is X1 Carbon Lenovo. With an obvious fault, we need a password, which we don't have. So, let's dig the BIOS chip out of there, read it, see what we can do. With Lenovo, it's kind of it's a little bit tricky. So if you have a Lenovo with a BIOS password that you want to remove, reach out to me first before you send it, because I need to confirm with Lead Farmer that we can actually do that one. Because with newer Lenovos, the password is being stored not in BIOS anymore, but instead in ME. And I expect that BitLocker key and all that is also stored in ME. Not in ME, in EC. Yeah, because some computers have a different chip for ME and for BIOS. Right, you get a bigger chip that holds the BIOS and a smaller chip that holds ME. Let's see what this one is like. Oh, it's packed to the brim. Let's hope the BIOS is on this side, not on the other side of the board, because that would be rather difficult. Oh, well, time consuming. More than difficult. Alright, I see something here. Let's see if that's BIOS. Right, so this one is a WinBond. Let's see if we can read what it is. 25Q80. That's probably not a BIOS. Let's see, because there's another one over here. Also WinBond. And this one is 25Q128. So this one is likely the BIOS. So the small one, it's on the other side of the board. So this is our suspected BIOS. And the other chip, the 25Q80, is here, right by the USB ports. So this is likely a USB hub firmware, and this is the BIOS. Unfortunately, it's next to a lot of like plastic and stuff, so we have to do a little bit of prep work here. This is likely 3.3 volt chip, so maybe we'll use 347. Although with 347, recently I heard opinions that sometimes it gets data corrupted. It's faster, but it's not that much faster. You know what I mean? I'm just kind of thinking, you know, do I need that extra 60 seconds faster flashing with risking that the data is going to be corrupted? And to ensure, I have to read twice, verify twice, or what have you, which kind of defeats the purpose of using a faster one if I have to do it twice. All right, so we have a fan cable and the terminal over here. So let's remove the plug first, and I guess how do we do it? We're gonna put plenty of Captain tape on it. We need to remove this sticker over here. This is vCore. This is i7 CPU, Intel architecture. All right, that should do it. So I'm gonna be blowing from the left, so not on the vCore. Right, we have an edge over here, but everything has multiple layers of Captain tape. And these chips are usually easier to desolder than the QFN chips, but it kind of all depends. You never know. Because it mainly depends on the solder that was used. So what I'm going to use is 410 at 100. So relatively high temperature, because we want to do it quickly. We have pin 1 marked over here. There's our pin 1. So we just need to remove this baby. We could use a flux, but because that's the main reason why it takes a little longer for me to remove it, because I don't use flux for desoldering. Although flux will not decrease the melting temperature, it will not increase the overall soldering temperature, but it does make a little bit of difference. because that solder just kind of flows better. So it is easier to remove it with flux. I concede on that point. Because my point was that, you know, it doesn't affect the actual temperature, and that's true. Yeah, but yeah, from experience, yeah, empirically, you know, yeah, it's easier when you put some flux on it. All right, but we're not putting flux. Let's actually, before we do, I forgot. We want the paper inside the laptop, like so, to protect the screen. You could also just open it, right, and do it on the edge of the desk, so the screen is completely far away. But that's a little bit less convenient, especially since the chip is at the bottom over here. 128 megabits, so that's going to be what, like 16 megabytes, something like that. Yeah, the ground is holding. Come on, ground. There you go. All right. Using higher temperature, you can do it quicker, not overheating the area around. And while it's hot, let's wick it, get rid of all that old solder. The ground obviously is gonna be the hardest, and the trick over here is not to remove the tiny resistors. We did this one, those two motherboards that came in for like essentially that resoldering job or some soldering job, and the BIOS chip was removed, but on top of BIOS chip being removed, a whole bunch of components around it were removed. It's very easy, especially when you're wicking. It's very easy because the wick is going to be hot, so it's very easy to remove those. It's just going to stick to your wick and you won't even notice. That's why Lead Farmer always recommends taking a picture before you remove the chip, so you can compare the picture after you replaced it to make sure nothing is missing. Because that one resistor over here is going to prevent the computer from booting because it's on the data line. Oh no, actually this one is on the CS pin. This one's on the CS pin, this one's on the data, and this one's on the data. There's usually also a little cup next to it, but this one doesn't seem to have it. And we're just gonna tin it a little bit with our beautiful Omega 559 flux, available on eBay and in my store. Oh, recently I received the gift from Germany, from our German viewer, to help me improve the process of pouring flux. It's a big 50 cc's, actually even more than that, but with markings of 50 cc big syringe, which means the process can be now a lot more efficient because we no longer have to use that little ladle to pour it and debubble and all that kind of stuff. So it's a lot better, cleaner. There's a little less time you have to spend cleaning and all that. All right, so this goes away for now. And now, what is the voltage of our chip? Usually I just ask Lead Farmer to find out. Actually, let's get a Lead Farmer here. All right, looks like this one is 3.3 as suspected. So yeah, we're gonna use CH341 just for safety sake, so we don't have to deal with potential corruptions and stuff. And we're gonna do 370 at 75 just to protect the adapter over here, because I'm kind of running low on these adapters and they are super fragile. Just few solderings and the VS just kind of stop working. I moved the chip a little, but that should be fine. This side looks good. Yeah, just to make sure we got good connection. All right, we're gonna use Neo Programmer. All right, we have a ME Clean binary from Let Farmer. So now this is going to be a two-step process. So first we need to turn it on. Go to BIOS. I think it's F2. Let's see. Nothing's happening. Is the battery dead? Okay.
Mess with the battery.
Now it lit up.
All right, so give it a moment to post.
Mm-hmm.
Do the F1, F2 thing. F1, I think it is. Tap F1.
Mm-hmm.
So it tries to go into the BIOS. So let's get this out.
Nope.
Should be okay to keep it in there. In some cases, let me see. I think they mentioned sometimes you have to remove it.
Yeah, it rebooted, so it's yeah. Okay, we got picture.
Yeah, your BIOS F1, F2. What's that?
Well,
What is it?
It's asking for password.
Okay, press 1, 2, 3 and hit enter.
There's no biometric. 1, 2, 3, enter.
Any password, 3, 3, 4, 5, whatever. And now it's gonna say hardware ID. Press the space bar twice. No, press enter. Press enter when you see hardware ID, and now press the space bar 2 times.
Okay, hang on. Slow down.
Yeah.
So
here.
I have hardware ID, enter
Press
key.
enter.
So empty key. Yes?
Yeah, enter and then space bar 2 times after. And turn off.
And turn it off.
Yep. Now we can flash the original BIOS, the other one, without the patch.
Alright.
Hit the power out, yeah. Alright, so that's it. Now we just have to either pogo pin it. You want to try to pogo pin it since we have a good backups?
No, it takes a few minutes to flash.
Right.
I can't hold it for a few minutes in on pogo pins. Alrighty, so now the Clean ME BIOS is in. So the first BIOS is to unlock the laptop, then you flash the second BIOS, and that gets the job done. That's why Lenovo's are tricky. So now, since it's with Clean ME, I expect that it will boot, then turn off, then boot again by itself. So it might take a minute.
Also keep in mind that this patch Lenovo only works up to 2018 model. 2019 and up, you have to do it a different way, not the easy way.
Right. Alright, it's asking for password again.
That's weird.
And password is invalid.
Oh, okay, so that's weird. So the patch worked, so that means I have to... Oh, that is strange. Maybe they have a password. It's like a hybrid where it has a password in the BIOS and in the EC. But if you look at the steps in the website I gave you, it even says restore original BIOS. But we were able to bypass it with a patch, but now with the old BIOS, it brought it back. Okay. Alrighty, well, let me edit the NVRAM on this one apparently. That's a weird one. Oh. I'll just hit any BIOS real quick without the extra junk.
Alrighty, several hours later, and after flashing it like relatively many times, we still have password. Didn't work. Biometric stopped. 1, 2, 3. Wrong password. So number one issue that we identified was that the new BIOS, or actually the new EC programming, has that bypass that we're doing fixed, so that patch no longer works. So essentially, the way this is done is we first upload the BIOS that is supposed to just patch the EC. Then the computer restarts, or we turn off the computer. Then we flash essentially the same BIOS, the original BIOS. But we also flash it with Clean ME and all that. And that is supposed to work. By all accounts of people doing this, this should work. But what we think is going on over here is that the EC has been updated. So the BIOS has been updated throughout the lifetime of this machine, because it will definitely not work on 2019 and younger machines. It's got to be 2018 or older. This one's 2017 or something like that. But if it was updated to 2019 version. That's why it doesn't work. So at the moment, this is going back into the box, and I will likely just send the whole machine to Lead Farmer, and because there's one last thing that we could do, and that has to do with essentially shorting 2 pins on the board in the right order when you enter the BIOS. That is supposed to work as well, but judging by nothing working on this one, none of our methods working on this one, I would expect that it's also not a guarantee that that would work either. So that's why Lenovo's are difficult. Pretty much every Lenovo, especially the new ones. But yeah, if you have a Lenovo 2019 or younger, don't even bother. There's no way to remove the password as we know it at the moment. But if something comes up, I will definitely let you guys know, and then we're gonna be doing the BIOS fixes on those as well. But at the moment, definitely if you have any Lenovo, just contact me first and be aware that it might not work like this one. That's it. Thank you guys very much for watching. I do appreciate you, and I shall see you guys in the next one.